Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are live and recording. We're waiting on the mayor's proxy, Devin Golden, and we'll start after that.
I think it's usually her, but I don't know for sure. So, I interviewed him.
Like we're going to get some heavy rain tonight and tomorrow.
Sure are.
Get out your canoes.
The backyard is already a mud pit.
Yeah. Well, we needed the rain, but as always, not this much, this fast.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we got Devin. Devin, are you there? Aha.
I am here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Devin.
All right. Well, we are ready to start. I spoke to the judge earlier, and I told him it probably would be appropriate to have him chair the meeting.
With that said, then, I'd like to call our meeting to order and ask Jessica to call the roll.
Let's see, I don't normally do that, so I'm not sure. Just call each member. Is that what
I will be happy to do that, Jessica.
Okay.
I
No.
just want the record to reflect that Devin Golden is a proxy for Mayor Prather, and Ms. Gina Amos is the proxy for Superintendent Kevin Hubb, and the record should reflect that I am in attendance as well as Scott Hall and Andrew and Michelle.
So noted.
With that said, we'll move to agenda item number 3, approval of minutes from last meeting, 9/23/2020. Is there any questions or comments related to the minutes as presented in your packet?
Jessica, I think in 5A, the very first sentence, there might be a word or two missing there.
Okay.
You might just want to correct that and approve it as amended if you agree. It kind of reads a little bit strange.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so I will make that change. Can we get a motion pending just adding looks like I just forgot one word there.
Be a motion to approve as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended the special called meeting minutes.
And we have a second from Devin Golden. Is that correct?
Yeah, I will second.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of the approving the minutes as presented and amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 4. That is relocation to GMWSS building. And I'd like to ask Scott to share updates on those items in the agenda.
Thank you, Judge. Updates are that the lease has been executed. All parties have signed. The original has gone back to Chase at GMWSS. We kept the file copy. I did issue the first rent payment October 1, and we have keys. So we have possession of the building. The 4 bullet points here, let me just say that we're going to have another special called meeting. There's a lot of moving parts to what's going on with this move and the quote in particular. So we're probably going to have another special called meeting in a week or so just to deal with that. But I do want to go over the 4 bullet points on the agenda, not necessarily in the order that they're listed. The third one, the DCMS quote for office design presented for review and approval. After reviewing this, we got it late Monday. Jessica and Andrew and I had a chance to look at it yesterday. We're going to have to put this out for bid. And there are some items on there that they're not going to be doing. We think we can save some money by doing some things ourselves on that. So it needs to be reconfigured. DCMS, by the way, is Design Construction Management Systems. They were the initial, the company that we dealt with along with Courson a year or so ago when this commission approved for us to make some security upgrades and some commensurate construction renovations on this particular location at the Development Services Building. And of course, that did not happen, and it's a good thing. Otherwise, we would have put $24,000 into this space and then be moving into a new one. But we want them to reconfigure this where we have more of an apples to apples comparison of what you approved before and then what we're actually approving now, because a lot of those same things are going to happen, but just due to the size of this space and the number of things we're going to have to do to get it configured to the way we need it to be, it's going to be more costly than what was initially approved. So we just basically need some more time to get this information together for you. And then if you go back up to bullet point 1, I had also hoped today to present the updated version of the office relocation preliminary project costs that I presented last month. Without the information, that's tough to do, tough to put anything together that's going to be meaningful to the commissioners. So I'm also not going to be presenting that today. The second bullet point, DCMS Digital Office Design for review. This is something that I shared with you in the Friday packet. Let me see if I can share this screen. Operator error, stand by. Is everyone seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the bottom slide here is just the blank slate, the canvas there. If you've never been over there, it's actually 2 units. This is currently listed as Unit 8. This is Unit 9. Working with Development Services and the Post Office, this whole thing will now be called, for physical address purposes, Suite 8. This will be the main taxpayer entrance. This will be closed to the public, but the employees can use this. We also have a side and a rear entrance. This just denotes here with these dotted lines some of the demo. We're going to have to take some walls out to get this where we need it to be and accommodate our needs and our current desk structure and file cabinets, things of that nature. And then this is the preliminary design plan. The DCMS came in and measured all of our gear here at this location and then plugged it in on a CAD drawing to this. And this is not final. We've got some tweaks here we're going to have to make, but essentially we've opened up this whole area to our main office work area, including file cabinets. Tammy and Jessica will have offices over here. We'll have a conference room. Most of this is gear that we already have here, desks, supplies, things of that nature. We do not have a break room table or chairs. We do not have a conference room table and chairs, and we will need one additional desk. But this is basically the layout. There was 2 offices here that used to be here. My office desk and furniture would not fit into either one of those small ones, so he reconfigured this, but he kind of overshot it a little bit. I really don't need this much space, so that's something that's going to be reconfigured as well. And also, we're building a wall here. This is an entire customer service area from how it was configured before. We don't need that much space for taxpayer walk-in, so we're going to cut that in half and use this as file storage. And then this is the firewall between the 2 units, and then this is a 42-inch steel door. This will be our pass-through between the 2, and then we'll walk through this file room to come over here. So just kind of a basic design. These 10 file cabinets over here do not fit in this space. We've since determined that 4 of those are empty, and some of the others we can do some consolidation. If we have any overflow, they can fit in here until we get a conference table. But you know, we're hoping in the not so distant future to move to a paperless setup. So we're not going to try to make a whole lot of space for a whole lot of file cabinets because we're hoping those go away at some point. Well, so there's no approval on this. I just wanted to present it to you. This is currently where we are and see if anybody had any comments or questions.
Only question I have, it looks, like a lot of thought's been put into it, but is there any other way on your lobby, you've got the restroom, the door swings open, and it, impacts your window just a little, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this restroom, we do not have restrooms open to the public, and we will not here. One of the big advantages to this is we're all sharing one restroom in the current space. We're going to have 3 here. There's a little one here. There's this one, and there's one over here by the conference room. This will be closed to the public and locked. Only we will have access to it. It won't even be marked as a restroom. So I don't anticipate this getting a lot of use, but we really don't need the space.
Yeah, if that's the case, then you've answered my question. That won't be as much an issue.
No.
Impacting your window.
Right.
But you tell me if I'm correct, you're going to bring all this back at our next meeting.
Yes, when we have the special called meeting, I hope to have more of a final design as well as an updated quote along with the total project cost spreadsheet that I presented last month, so we can have a meeting to talk about just this and not have to deal with some of the other business.
If you get it all together before our next scheduled meeting, you'd like to have a special called meeting, let's, I'll be happy to try to navigate that, and I'm sure the other commissioners would as well.
Okay.
To try to expedite the process, because I know it's time sensitive.
Yes.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
Okay, let's move to number 5 on our agenda.
Actually, Judge, there was one more bullet point. I'm sorry. Up there. The last one, internet VoIP phones configuration. This is the exciting part because we worked with Andrew very closely, and this is going to save us a lot of money. There is one piece in here, integration partners quote presented for review and approval, so we can go ahead and get that scheduled. But essentially what has happened is the internet, we're going to be able to use qx.net. They've done a site survey. We have access there. So it is available. The city has excess credit because apparently they're allowing them to use one of their towers. So we will not have to pay AT&T for internet any longer. This will also allow us to switch to a more updated VoIP phone system, and that's what the integration partners quote is about. Andrew also has some surplus phones, so we'll be able to upgrade to phones that we can use on the VoIP system that are a lot newer than our 20, 25-year-old phones. And there may be some configuration costs. We'll deal with that a little bit later, with maybe up to $1,000. Andrew's anticipating that would probably be net gain regarding the VPN tunnel construction, things of that nature. But let me get the integration partners up here. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially what we have here is $450 in licenses. Is that what that is, Andrew? Looks like 12 licenses.
Yeah, I can't, it's covered up, but yes, that's correct. Those are the license for the users, the end user license. And those are one time and that's it.
Right. And then there are some engineering costs, which is $49.27. So that's a total of $5,377. Again, we'd like to get an approval on this so we can go ahead and get this scheduled and get this part in the works. The long and short of it is we're currently paying about $700 a month to AT&T. That's going to go down to about $70 because we will still need 2 copper wire landlines, or what they call POTS lines, one for the alarm system, one for the alarm system backup, but the alarm system backup line will also double as our fax line. So this was shared in the packet that was sent out on Friday, but this is what it comes down to: 12 licenses for $450 and the engineering costs of $49.27.
Are there any questions or comments related to this request? And is there a motion to accept as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the integration partners as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, yeah.
With that said, any other questions or comments? All those in favor of approving that proposal from Integration Partners, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll move down to number 5. I reviewed the full refund requests, and don't know if you all have had an opportunity to do so. I would ask Andrew and anyone else for that matter, can we go over these individually and then approve as one group?
I think that's what we were hoping to do.
Yes. Scott, would you like to just give a synopsis of each one for the record?
Yes. So this is number 1. Everyone see that it's $13,236.80. Nothing out of the ordinary here. This is a taxpayer who works for an employer locally who has everything withheld upon as if they worked here, but they did not. They worked outside of Georgetown, Scott County. So we're reimbursing the portion that was withheld upon when they were working elsewhere. You'll notice on this one, there's only a city and a county portion. There is no school board portion because this particular employee lives in Nicholasville. So this is $13,236.80. And we do recommend, we've done a complete account review and request approval on this. So does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll move on to the next one. Okay, number 2 is a request for net profit refund. This is a series of overpaid credits. They overestimated their deposits every year for several years going back to 2017, and now they would like them all refunded. We've done a review. This total amount is $10,926.74. You see the city, county, and school board breakdown. This is not uncommon, but it was, because several years, it was a very large amount. Any questions on that one?
No.
Okay. Number 3. This is the largest one, $22,894.25. This is tax year 2019. Again, this is the same as the last one. They had overestimated their net profit tax payments, and the actual tax liability came in lower than that. See the city, county, and school board portion. After review, we recommend honoring the full refund request of $22,894.25. Any questions on that one? Hearing none, I will go on to the 4th and final one. This is $20,058.60, and it's the same as the last one, just an overestimation of prepaid net profits tax, but it was just for the year 2018, whereas the last one was 2019. You can see the city, county, school board breakdown of their portions of each of these, but we do recommend approval of the full amount on this one as well. Any questions on number 4?
Scott, thank you for reviewing those. Are there any questions or comments related to 4 refund requests as presented?
No, I'll make a motion to approve all 4 requests.
We have a motion.
Second that.
We have a second. We have a second. Amos.
Mhm.
That said, any other question or comment? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Scott, for that. We'll move to number 6. External audit report, 6/30/2020. Scott, would you like to share any highlights or pertinent information in regards to that external audit?
Yes. This is the audited financial statements. If everyone can see that. The key here, if you scroll the very last page, it's a lot of accounting jargon and text and numbers. But the last page is the key there. There are no findings or responses for the year ended 6/30/2020. So it is a clean audit. Always happy to see that. That's what we want to see. You can look through that at your leisure. I did attach that with the Friday packet. There is another item that goes with that. It's called the Statement of Accounting Standards. It's just a short little document there. You can read that at your leisure. And then what I like to put together for everybody every year that I think is a good snapshot is what I call a synopsis. This particular page for the tax receipts and remittances to tax authorities is a good one-page snapshot. It shows you what our actual receipts were, which was 41.2 million for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2020. Shows our collection cost. This is all revenue, the 661,000. We did have $111 left over from the third-party collector, which we have severed ties with. And then I like to summarize at the bottom. If you divide all of the costs by the gross receipts collected, it's about a 1.6% cost, which means the Revenue Commission is providing a 98.39% return on investment for our amounts that we put in. That the city and county
goal next year to get to 99%. I'm just teasing. That is tremendous, really. That being able to show that, I think is I appreciate the effort that goes into this.
Well, you're welcome. It's a good kind of high level snapshot in one page without getting into 20 pages of accounting jargon. So, and then for your reference, if you want to do a side by side, here's the very same thing I presented last year with all the same information highlighted. And then I put together a synopsis because of COVID and the obvious issues that we're dealing with here. And aggregate collections, as you can see, are down 1.3 million or about 3%. Not surprisingly, net profit is almost 60% of that because the tax filing deadline was moved to April 15th, which is within this fiscal year, to outside this fiscal year to July 15th. So a lot of those net profit collections we didn't see until July, or actually some of them are still coming in now in October. Payroll collections were the other 40%. You can see there. Penalty and interest collections are down a little bit. Obviously, we're not collecting penalty and interest, at least on the payroll portion during this year. Interest income, not surprising there, that's down with less collections in the bank. Whitaker is charging, the interest is accumulating at a smaller rate. One thing for the city that's a bright spot is the regulatory fee collections are up $600. That's primarily can be tied back to itinerant merchants that are coming in. A lot of food trucks stepped into the breach when the restaurants were shut down or cut down to half capacity. So good thing for the city there, we're seeing a little uptick in the regulatory license fees in this particular fiscal year. So again, no action on that. I just wanted to present it to you. Actually, there is action there. You do have to approve accepting the external audit, but no findings. And that's the synopsis on the revenue collections and our costs associated with that.
I'd like to make a comment that I do really appreciate the effort that goes into be transparent, and you do just a tremendous job of presenting data that reflects the operations of the Revenue Commission, and the audit finding reflects that effort. So what other questions or comments would there be in regards to the external audit report as presented? And is there a motion to approve that finding?
I'll make a motion to approve the audit, accept the audit as presented.
Second.
Second from Devin. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 7, new logo presented for review and approval. I think we have a couple options that I've seen pop up on email and then today. Scott, could you share those two on the screen again?
Yes, we have an option A and an option B. We have talked about this for a while, but it's one of those things that always gets pushed to the back burner. But we thought since we're changing addresses, we're going to have to change our our letterhead and business cards and everything. Why don't we revisit this? So we reached out to a local vendor who has a good track record with filing and paying the Revenue Commission, and they came up with these two options. I won't tell you internally which one we like, but I'd like to get your input on this, and we'd like approval to move forward. Or if you despise both of them and want us to try to get something else, that's of course fine as well. But I just wanted to present these today.
Both of them are very nice. I do think you need to brand your office, and I think this is a good effort. At either one of them would be suitable to me. I think they're both very professional, and I will make note that the top one reflects the Breeders' Cup colors. I would make that analogy. I don't know. How did y'all go about picking those colors?
We did not. The designer did that. We didn't give them very many instructions. We just said, go to our website. This is our current logo. This is what we do. I told them I wanted it to be professional and something a little more modern and updated than what we're currently using, and just kind of said, be creative. And this is what they came up with.
Gina, Devin, what questions do you all have or comments?
I'm like you. I like them both. The option A would fit better on a business card, but option B would look better on letterhead. So,
Yeah, I'm hesitant as a proxy to give a big opinion. I don't know what kind of timeline you all on. What's that?
Your opinion matters.
Well, I think they're both very nice. They both look very sharp. I agree with Gina. The bottom one just looks like letterhead. But well, I mean, I think you guys should give your opinion, as
That's what I was getting ready to say, Devin. Y'all are the one that's gonna, see this every single day and be sending it out. And I would ask for both Jessica's and Scott's opinion.
Well, it was unanimous. All of our team, we like option B. And one of the things that I like about it, the water company sign, I don't know if you noticed or not, is currently down. They've had some structure problems with the frame around it, and we've been talking to them about it. So we will have a space, and that's a very long rectangular sign by the road. And certainly the bottom one would fit nicely on that. It'll also fit on the letterhead. But our unanimous decision internally was that we all like option B.
Andrew Hartley, do you have any input on this?
This decision is far too weighty and consequential for me.
All right.
No, I actually, I also like B.
With that said,
I just think it's classy.
Yeah. With that said, I'd like to make the motion that we accept option B as a new logo. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any other question or
My
comment?
favorite too. I just didn't want to say it.
Any other question or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all. Moving down to number 8.
Okay, I'm gonna let Jessica take the lead on this. This is a long saga that predates Jessica and I with this particular taxpayer. She's worked very hard on it, and it's very complex, but as she does so well, she's going to break it down for us and tell us what we're proposing here for the commissioners to accept.
Well, thank you, Scott. This is actually what makes it really complicated is that it's 3 accounts with the same account holder. One is an active account with a law office that's still practicing. The other is a dissolved partnership that involved 2 partners, but that was never officially or formally a partnership. So I've been going back and forth after several delinquent notices, I think maybe 38, over the course of 12 years. We finally got a pretty big response. The accountant has been working with this taxpayer for multiple months at this point to present a proposed payment agreement. And so what you're looking at with all of the charts here on the screen is pretty much a breakdown of the taxes, penalties, and interest owed for the active account. So that would be the 2013 through the 2019 balance that's on the first page. And then there's a summary total at the top of the second page for the individual account for this taxpayer. So that portion is broke down very specifically. Where it gets a little bit more complicated is the dissolved partnership account. And that is because the balances are still collectible because they were submitted so severely delinquent, even though they're 2006 to 2016. So back in 2016, the prior director had entered into a payment plan with this specific attorney for 50% of the taxes due. And if he were to have paid that, that would satisfy his obligation for the prior partnership account. Unfortunately, he did not uphold that agreement. So it gets very complicated.
Hey, Jessica,
Yes.
I'm actually going to pause you a second.
Okay.
We lost Devin here.
Oh,
There she is.
Devin is back, so
okay.
you continue.
Okay. And so
Sorry, guys.
that's okay. So the reason it gets complicated with the dissolved partnership is because Kentucky law doesn't support a 50-50 distribution if there's no formal partnership in place. Instead, it has a joint and several liability for both members or partners if there's no formal partnership or limited liability entity created. So that put us in the predicament of the agreement was void, but the premise of that agreement of the 50-50 is not something that we felt comfortable moving forward with. So I sent notices to both partners stating the clarification of KRS and that, you know, this was an outstanding liability. Of course, that partner that had been in the payment agreement wanted to only have to pay the remaining $3,000 or $4,000 left from his agreement that he did not honor back in 2016. So in order to facilitate a resolution for all of these accounts, his accountant has submitted this proposal, which would be essentially for his individual account. You could look at it as a penalty and interest waiver. So he would remit all of the taxable balance for his individual account, which the combined total for his individual account for taxes only would be just over $7,400. And then he would honor the original agreement for the partnership agreement balance, which is just over $3,200. So in total, he would be remitting to us just shy of $11,000 in order to make all three accounts compliant. Now, of course, there will still be the issue of the other partner with that law partnership, but this would make this individual taxpayer who is still active in the jurisdiction compliant. And he has asked to do it in a lump sum if this were to be approved. So like I said, the individual account, it's essentially a penalty and interest waiver. And with the partnership account, it's honoring an agreement from 2016 for him to only pay 50% of the remaining taxable balance that was calculated at that time. And I know that is a lot of information, but the charts there break it down into what those balances look like. He would essentially be paying approximately the same amount as what would be forgiven in terms of the penalties and interest. But I do believe that this is a good resolution given the partnership stance and that partner is no longer practicing law. So I don't know if you have any specific questions about any of all that information or.
So that was my next question. What questions or comments does anyone have for Jessica in relationship to this recommendation? And obviously it's Jessica's recommendation that we move forward with this proposal.
Yeah, and I would just add that I think this is a good proposal, given two factors. Number one, the doubt as to collectability from the other partner. There's just nothing there. And number two, because this taxpayer has defaulted on a prior payment plan, if he's offering lump sum to try to make this good now, 3 payment plans, I stand corrected. I think we take the lump sum offer and abate the penalty as an interest. So I'm in agreement.
And this will allow us to make, a current active business compliant and give us a partial remedy on 2 inactive accounts, one that we will be able to completely close and the other pursuing someone that is most likely judgment proof because of their circumstances.
Any questions or other comments?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
I will be so relieved to get this account off of my desk.
Kudos to you. And we appreciate your efforts. With that said, we will move to number 9, the postcard design presented announcing 2021 cessation of mailing of paper forms, review, discussion, and approval requested with a cost of approximately $4,500 to complete this initiative. Scott, what other comments would you like to make?
Well, this goes back to something the commission approved earlier this year. I presented a report after we mailed out forms for this year. And the cost was just becoming very exorbitant. Printing costs, mailing costs, labor costs. We were doing all of our own handling of this with the bulk rate permit. So the commissioners agreed based on that report that we would cease mailing paper forms. And we told you at the time that we would need to do a postcard this year announcing that, letting people know once the forms are available and up on the website. So this is the form that you're seeing here. This is the front, obviously. And then this is what would be on the back, all the specifics that the taxpayer needs to know. But the important thing is here that we're not going to be mailing tax forms any longer, and that they're going to need to go to the website, or if they do not have internet access, they can contact us, and on an ad hoc basis, we can still mail forms here and there for some folks, or fax them, or whatever. But we're not going to do this mass mailing anymore. It's just too expensive. This is based on the Boone County postcard. They do theirs every year. Part of that is because their tax rates change every year based on the consumer price index. They have a complex formula. I don't know that we'll need to do it every year moving forward, but we certainly need to do it this first year. They have about twice as many accounts they mailed them to. Their cost was $9,000. It's all in. It's a vendor that they speak very highly of. And so we're anticipating or estimating half of that, $4,500 for the same thing. So we'd like to go ahead and get approval for that today. Normally we would mail these out at the end of November, first part of December. So with that approval, we can go ahead and proceed with trying to get that in the works.
And you anticipate probably mailing this out again next year, but then trying to transition away from it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Boone County does it every year, like I said, because their tax rates change every year. Ours do not. So I think we're just going to have to reassess next year and see what the feedback was from the taxpayers.
But no matter what, $4,500, if you had to do that every year, you're still going to have a significant savings.
Yes, because the report last year was $16,000. And I mean, the printing costs alone were going up about $2,000 every year. So we would probably be looking at 17 or 18,000 this year. So it's still a savings if we decided at some point to do this reminder postcard every single year.
And like you said, something we can assess. I definitely think probably it's wise to send this out on a yearly basis, but we can assess it. But are there any other questions or comments? I think it's just no brainer. With that said, is there a motion to approve as presented?
Motion.
Second that.
We have a second from Ms. Amos. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will move to number 10 on our agenda, compensation discussion, COLA.
Okay, Andrew, I'm going to let you take the lead on this, please.
Sorry, just a moment. Where are we again, Scott? I'm sorry.
Compensation discussion, COLA adjustments.
Oh, right. Oh, shucks. Well, this would have been a good one to have the mayor in on. And I'll be honest, Scott, I might actually recommend that we wait. I will set it up for I will set it up for the record. But I think this was, and Judge, I'm not sure if this is something that the mayor has talked to you about. I think he might have. But for the longest time, the city considered the Revenue Commission as part of its, they're not technically our employees, but they have sort of tracked our personnel changes, our personnel policies. And anytime the city instituted a COLA adjustment, the Revenue Commission staff was given that same increase. And since the city council took action earlier this year to clarify that while they're administratively attached for purposes of benefits administration, things like that, it was originally intended that the Revenue Commission was its own separate entity, its own employees, much like Parks Department, much like the Planning and Zoning. So now there is a need to have the Revenue Commission itself be the body that assesses the need for those cost of living adjustments, rather than it just automatically happening as part of either the city or the county.
And what I was going to add, it seems to me that it's a complete decision of the commissioners to make a recommendation. And can anyone share with me what was done the last 2 years as far as any percentage on COLA? Any adjustments?
Well, like I said, Judge, they would have tracked exactly what the city did. So I'm trying to recall 2 years ago. Devin, can you remember we gave a flat 3%?
Yeah, I believe so. And then no, we didn't do 1% this year. We did 3%, 3%, nothing, and then $1,000 per employee.
That's right.
So help me understand. You said 3%, and then nothing.
So in 2018, we would have given a 3% COLA. So every city employee would have gotten a 3% raise, 3% cost of living adjustment. Same thing in 2019, 3% cost of living adjustment. And then this year, when we considered our budget, we were right in the middle of COVID, and we chose to take no action. But then just recently, last month, in fact, we instituted a flat $1,000 increase for non-public safety employees, and then police and fire got different increase amounts, but all what's the word I'm looking for? Non-hazardous employees got a flat $1,000 raise.
Well, with that said, can I share? The fiscal court has done 3%, and with a caveat, a minimum of 1,040. Because sometimes that 3% doesn't get you past a threshold on some salaries, and the court felt like setting that threshold of 1,040 as a minimum amount for any employee. Does that make sense? Everybody understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
With that said, looking at the data that was shared by Scott earlier, just looking at the revenue and the operating costs, and then I certainly understand the city, because what we didn't do, the city and the fiscal court kind of did similar actions. We held until after the first quarter. We wanted to look at our revenues, and then we made a decision. And the most recent cost of living adjustment was made after the end of the first quarter to do the 3%. We felt like our revenues were solid enough to do that. So, Andrew, to my opinion, looking at history and then looking at our revenue and then the data that was presented earlier, I don't mind, and then, you know, comparing it to the fiscal court, comparing it to some recent actions by the city, you want them to be somewhat similar in my mind. I would like to ask, you know, what Devin and Gina feel like if there was a motion made to consider a 3% for Revenue Commission employees. And, you know, the actual, if it was instituted right now, y'all tell me if I'm correct, we're only talking about for 3 quarters, basically, consideration anyway. Is that correct?
That would be correct. Devin, remind me what, first Judge, when you all instituted your cost of living increase, you didn't make it retroactive in any way. Is that correct?
We did not.
We did not. Devin, do you know what we did? Was it it went in place and then it was moving forward? We often do retroactive when we miss a deadline or something like that. But my understanding is we did it starting today and then moving forward.
Yeah, and what you're talking about for our 3% ones?
Well, I'm talking about particularly this year. Our 3%
dollar amount. So
right.
The only department that got a percentage was dispatch. So I think it was moving forward.
I think so too.
So if I could ask Scott or Jessica, if the commission considered a 3% increase effective, you know, today, what would the budgetary impact be for the rest of the year? And would our budget be able to adequately navigate that?
I'd have to put pen to paper on that and get back to you.
Now, when did the county and the city employees, when did theirs take effect?
We actually had, for the county, Jessica, after I think October 3rd was when their pay was actually going to reflect a change. And then I think like last Thursday's paycheck was actually the first reflection of that change to 3%. I believe. I think that's right. You know, and of course, you know, we hammered out, you know, the impact and looked at 3%. And, you know, the Revenue Commission has much less employees, but I would certainly be willing to consider a 3% COLA, just because I feel like it's consistent with what's been done in the past by the fiscal court, and similar to what the city of Georgetown has done as well. Would you disagree with that, Andrew or Devin? Would you agree with that? That it's similar to what's been done in the past?
Andrew's muted.
I can't get off mute. There we go. Sorry. Good, Devin, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we brought this up last night too, or Monday night too at council. You know, we hadn't given any departments raises, and GMWSS did it, and then they brought it back, and you know, they very clearly indicated that their budget can handle it. So I don't see any difference here. If the budget supports a 3% COLA moving forward, I would say that's consistent.
I did pull up the budget information while you were discussing, and based on the budget that was approved by the commissioners for the current fiscal year, a 3% raise on our salaries would be $9,908.
Would that require a budget increase, Scott?
Yes.
Yes.
Regardless, and if any of the commissioners feels differently, I still think what's right is right, and if we can navigate that, which it seems like we would be able to, especially with the data that was presented earlier, I still would like to go ahead and make the consideration for a 3% cost of living adjustment effective today.
Well, we'd have to do it. We were going to have to do a mid-year budget adjustment anyway, because we're paying rent to the water company, and some of the additional costs that are going to be.
Well, and you're cutting some budgeted costs. I assume you had budgeted for those mailers and different things too. So if the rest of the group is comfortable voting on it, I am.
I am too.
Is there a motion? I don't mind making a motion to approve a 3% cost of living adjustment effective, 10/28/2020.
I'll second.
Any other questions or comments?
Hey, Judge, I might make one suggestion of a tweak, and that is make that effective date to start with a pay period. Maybe start with the beginning of the current pay period. So you don't have to do weird calculations in the middle.
No, I certainly would defer to you and whatever makes it ease of accounting for folks there. So Jessica, what date would that be? You're muted.
I was looking to see what currently the pay period that we're in is, what would make it easier. I was pulling up Paycom.
I think we just started a new pay period Monday, didn't we?
Monday.
Well, let's date it Monday, effective Monday, whatever date
So that was the 26th, 10/26.
All right. So I will amend my motion to approve a 3% cost of living adjustment effective 10/26/2020. And is there a second to that amended motion?
Did the pay period actually start Saturday before that? I mean, that's the first work day of the new pay period.
Yeah, it does. It does start on a Saturday in Paycom.
So it'll be the 24th.
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 Okay, I'm going to amend my amended motion to reflect the 3% cost of living adjustment to start on pay period 10/24/2020. Do I have a quick second? I don't want any more amendments.
Second.
So we have a second from Devin Golden. Any other question or comment? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
And then we'll have just a general discussion and then talking about our next dates.
Yeah, general discussion. And normally we talk about if there's any comments or questions about the updates. It's pretty much standard as it's been for the past few months. Some September collection stats, new and closed businesses stats. The only thing that was really added here that was a little bit different is we did complete our server migration project. We had minimal downtime. We are experiencing a few little issues here and there. Jessica and I have issues with our laptops, but overall that was completed with minimal downtime. So unless anybody has any questions, I've got that up on the screen. It was sent with the Friday packet.
I really appreciate this information. I just use it every month, and it's good for me to have. And I just like the record to reflect that I appreciate that update on a monthly basis. It's very, very effective, I think, and I share it. I like, it's information that's easily shareable. Any other questions or comments in regards to that? And then we have next special called meetings, November 18th at 10 a.m., December 16th. We need any action on that?
I'm not sure. What we did was, because of the holidays, the fourth, normally we would meet, even though it's a special call during COVID, we would normally meet the fourth Wednesday. The fourth Wednesday is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving in November, and it's the day before Christmas Eve in December. So we moved them both back a week as far as regular meetings. We, in the past, I think we met last year in November, but we canceled December due to the holidays and everybody's schedules conflicting. We just thought we'd move them both back a week since we've got so much going on with the water company building move. But we also as we talked about earlier, we're going to have an additional special call meeting probably before the 16th to take care of this out for bid on the quote. So that I just wanted to present that was initially the plan we talked about, and to put it out.
Judge, these are all special called meetings, but it sure wouldn't hurt to just have the commission vote to approve those dates as the new meeting dates.
And that's what I was thinking as well, Andrew. Is there a motion to approve those 2 dates officially?
Make a motion to approve those 2 dates.
November 18th, December 16th. So Gina Amos made the motion. I'll make the second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. With that said, it brings us to adjournment, and got a lot of work done in 55 minutes. I appreciate your all's efforts. Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion from Devin Golden, second from Gina Amos. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you all.
You know what? It might be giving you an error because I haven't ended the revenue
No, it's just
commission.
taking a minute. Well, it says live in 24 hours.
Yeah, I have to end the revenue commission meeting probably first before probably still streaming, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Let's make sure we get that. I mean, it's streaming a blank screen. That's no problem, but let's see if we can get that fixed before we exit.
Okay. So you need me to check on that?
Yeah, let me end this stream.
Okay.
Now cancel the live stream and do